Hello and welcome to Tricks of the S-Trade channel. Today is the 28th of September 2017, and in today's feature we're featuring a senior advisor to the President of the United States in the year 2017, which happens to be Jared Kushner. He's a bona fide Jew, because today we're going to take a look at the subject in which a lot of people say that, Jews run the world. And it's funny enough that we have a transgender that we're investigating in Jared Kushner today. So he's a bona fide Jew. And so the question now is, if Jews run the world, all right, as a lot of people have been made to believe and buying into that lie, why would they transgender one of their own? Because this dude that we're investigating today is a bona fide Jew. Well, fellas, if it's your first time on our channel and you happen to hear all that news and you want to keep on watching the video, you have to pause the video right here. You have to pause the video and go look for the primer video. Because if you do not watch the primer video, a lot of those things that I'm saying to you is not going to make any sense at all. You're going to be having too many unanswered questions. So I would suggest that you watch the primer video first, then you can come back and continue watching this video. So let me show you how to get to the primer video in a second. So the primer video is going to be the oldest video on this channel. It also has a playlist. You just need to look for it called primer. All right, I'm hovering my mouse over it right there. When you click on the video, all right, I advise you to get the document that's attached to every video besides the primer video that I'm pointing at right now. It's going to be in the description section of the video. When you click on that link, as I'm hovering my mouse over there, it's going to take you to a document. All right, the document is going to say male versus female visual differences. Now, even though we feature a lot of transgenders on our channel, it's not really a transgender channel, but we're just trying to educate people so they don't get, lost in the myriad of fake transvestigation done by a lot of the Vatican agent channels that you have there. There are so numerous, too many numerous of them. All right. I can't even begin to count the number of fake Vatican channels which is trying to disinform the people so they don't know the visual differences between a man and a woman. Because you have to understand, they give you, a lot of those channels give you ridiculous facts. They just work off pure speculation, and they don't want to provide you the fine details, all right, so that you could know the differences between male and female. Because when we're dealing with facts, facts are something that we can all agree on. So this document will show you facts which you can look at yourself and look at another person of the opposite sex to see if these facts are actually true. All right, just like we can all agree that the grass is green, these are the kind of facts that we present on this document. So I advise that you get this document. It's going to take you like I said 30 minutes to go through it. It just has a lot of pictures, but it will do you a world of good, so you'll be able to spot the differences between a man and a woman. And when you're done with that, then you can continue watching this video. But if you're an old sub already, then you know already that we started the transvestigation at this point. So here is a picture of a female to my left. And as you can see, the female has an arch in her back. The arch in her back is necessary for childbirth, extra support for the weight of carrying children, because it also helps to make sure that the woman doesn't have any problems walking when she's pregnant, and that she can be able to carry the weight of children properly. And also, depending on where you draw the line in a woman's back, is always going to form either an S-shaped spine or a C, depending where you draw that deep curvature of a C from. A woman always has an arch in her back. Also, that's because the pelvis of a woman is tilted forward. So a baby can stay inside the pelvis. This all makes logical sense to how the skeletal structure of a woman looks the way it does. Okay, a man does not have an arch in his back. A man has a straight back. If a man's back wants to arch, it's going to arch outside. A female back's arches inside. A man's back arches outside to either form the shape of a P or a D. It doesn't really matter, right, what the woman looks like. There's always going to be an arch in her back. And I want to scroll through the document just to show you that. So here is a woman right here. As you can see, she has a deep arch in her back. A woman's back is always going to arch much more than a man, because the spine is much more flexible than that of a man. So if a woman arches her back outwards, It's going to arch much more if a man try to arch his back outwards. You're going to see a deep C inside the back, as you can see right here. If a man try to do this, the arch in his back will form weird angles like an L. So always remember those letters. If a man tries to arch his back, L. If a woman tries to arch her back inwards, C. If a man tries to arch his back inwards, L. So remember that. So I scroll through the document just to show you that it doesn't matter the size of the woman, if she's big or tall, small, or whatever the case might be, whatever figure she has, there always has to be an arch in a woman's back. So as you can see right here, I'm still scrolling through the document, there is a big female to my left, arch in her back. Pelvis is tilted forward so a child can stay inside that pelvic area when a woman is pregnant. Small female to my, okay, that was my left, now this is my right. Small female to my right now, arch in the back. Pelvis is still tilted forward. It doesn't matter if the female's got muscles, she works out in a gym, nothing can change the skeletal structure of a man or a woman. No surgery, no amount of drugs. What the drugs do is just change the muscle and the skin. So for example, if a transgender man is trying to be female and he's taking a lot of the estrogen and the other hormones that he needs to make that happen, what it's going to do is that it's going to change the skin, because for example, men have thicker skin. So it's just going to make the skin thinner, like the skin of a female, and then he's going to add on more water weight, and he's gonna probably grow a little bit of, you know, breast depending on what age he started taking the pills. It's not gonna change the skeletal structure. The skeletal structure is not gonna change. It doesn't matter what he tries to do and have maybe like butt lifts or butt implant. The position of the hip is not gonna change. The hips of a man are above his crotch, all right? The hips of a woman are below the crotch. It's necessary for reproduction so a woman can give birth, all right? So nothing changes the skeletal structure of anybody, no matter the drugs you take. So you can see right here, this is a super muscular female, and she still has that arch in her back because the pelvis is tilted forward, and the arch is extra support for the weight of childbirth. And also another female right here, arch in the back. All right, so let me play a video. Then, because we're on the subject of the transvestigation of Jared Kushner, we're going to find out if Jared Kushner is actually the sex and gender that he claims. All right, so let's keep going. So here is a video to show you how a female's hips are measured. This is standard everywhere in the world. This is how a woman is fitted into clothes, because without this right measurement of knowing where the hip location, if the hip location was just fluctuating anywhere, it would be very difficult to fit a woman into her clothes. So you have to understand that, because there's a lot of disinformation channels will try to tell you, oh, the body structures are the same. We're not all the same. We are not saying the body structures are the same. We're saying that the skeletal structure never changes. So the hip of a woman is always going to be below her crotch. She's always going to have an arch in her back. That's never going to change, because that's how a woman is fitted into clothes. So let me play this video so you can actually see where the hip location is for a woman. So as you can see, this is being measured. As you can see, now there's one thing I have to let you guys know. When you're looking at a man and a woman, under normal, let's say under normal body types, so that means regular male and female body types, a woman starts spreading from under her elbows. And the widest point as she's spreading downwards is always going to be the hips, where the hips are sticking out at. Now for a man starts spreading upwards from his elbows, right? So he starts spreading upwards into what we call a V shape, or into very broad shoulders, and the widest point is always going to be his shoulders. Under normal circumstances, if nothing has, because people have weird body shapes, but for a woman, it doesn't matter the body structure she has. She can have small hips, tiny hips, or no hips at all. But the location of the hip joints, or where that hip is at, the widest point, is always going to be below the crotch. So I want you guys to remember that. So the tape is going to go around for you, see where that hip location is at. As you can see right there, it's below the crotch, not above it, below, because there's a woman. Now she's going to turn around so you can see where it is from the back. She spins around, and as you can see right there, that location is just slightly below the bum line but above the crotch. Now, why is it slightly below the bum line from the back? Because the pelvis of a woman is tilted forward. If it was standing straight up, the crotch, all right, or the hip location would be, it would directly be on the bum line. But because of the tilt of the pelvis, the structural difference of a female skeletal structure, it makes it to be this way, so it raises the bum up. So that's why when a woman walks, or when you see females, it seems like they're always standing with their butts sticking out. Is because the pelvis is tilted forward. Okay, so we're done with that because we're in the subject of transvestigation, so let's move on. So before we move into the transvestigation of Jared Kushner proper, I just want to take out the time to thank a sub who brought this to my attention, because I wouldn't have given Jared Kushner the time of day to investigate. I wasn't just really interested in looking him up because nowadays the way we do lookups or look up people is actually different. All right, we don't spend time investigating or transvestigating everybody. So I want to thank the beautiful sub who brought this to my attention. Misty Lee is her name, and she goes by the name of Lola. So Lola, I want to thank you so much for this. That means you're a great subscriber and you're learning, and I'm proud of you. So keep on doing the good work and keep on educating yourself. I love that. Thank you, Misty Lee, Lola, for this. So you guys, if you find Misty Lee or Lola commenting on this section or as a subscriber, I just want you guys to know that she did a good job. So I want to thank her. All right, so let's move forward. So we're in the 7-minute delusionals comment section right now. And the feature of a diluted feature today happens to be a guy by called Shock Pinky. I don't know if Shock Pinky is female or male. I don't really know. But I just want to tell you what really happened as we were talking. As he was commenting on the Marilyn Monroe video. Now, Shock Pinky said here, "This sounds stupid." That means he's talking about the Marilyn Monroe video. Says, "This sounds stupid. Women can also have large necks, hands, and feet." Now, a lot of you guys, if you're subscribed on my channel, you will know that we've never ever said that a woman having large necks, hands, and feet makes the person not the gender that they claim. We've never said that, because we've always said the way to find out if someone is male or female is to judge the person based on the female skeletal structure, because females are designed to give birth. They have hips below their crotch. They have an arch in the back. They have a pelvis that's tilted forward. They have a wider pubic arch comparable to a male of the same height. All right, because it's necessary for childbirth. So hands, feet, long torsos, and all of that stuff got nothing to do with childbirth. So this guy is a very deluded. If he's a guy or a female, he's very, very deluded. He now continues saying, say something else, cause my hand covers my face and I have 3 children, and I was there when I pushed 2 of them out and 1 cut. Well, he said that. So I responded to him and said, you didn't listen. All right, so either you can't listen, you're delusional, or you're a Vatican agent trying to make people not look at the facts. The video clearly shows and tells you that the requisite for being a woman lies in the skeletal structure, which provides for the ability for a woman to get pregnant, which differentiates the sexes. And for that, a woman has an arch in the back, pelvis to forward, hips filled below the crotch, and an arch in the back. Large necks, hands, and feet are not definitive of the sexes. They can only be used to support definitive facts. Get it straight or leave the channel and stop leaving comments you do not understand. So now he responded back and said, tricks of the straight. I am an agent or work for the Vatican. He's laughing, and you say I'm delusional. I was just making a comment, but I think I will get off here because you're taking what I said way too serious. Now, this is what really ticked me a little bit off. He says I'm taking this way too serious. Okay, people, let's say I'm taking this way too serious. I want you to take a good look at your world. Does your world look like the guys who are doing all these things look like they are playing games and not serious about it? Do you think they are joking about it? So here's my response to this deluded fool. And I said, you're a very deluded fool. Do you think the Vatican, who's behind every major event that has shaped your modern world, who kill and maim at will, from the wars to the wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the war on terrorism, who poison your food and water to make you weak so they can control you, are playing games? Do you think they do it for fun and are not serious? You're very stupid to make a joke out of this and say, I'm taking this way too serious. Just wait till your child, brother and sister, parents, friends, husband, wives, or girlfriend ends up dead. I'm sure that stupid smirk and laugh wouldn't be so funny. Wait until you end up in a wheelchair and you will know this isn't a game, fool. Hell yeah, I take this seriously, punk. So I am serious about what I'm doing because the guys who are doing this, who are running your world, are not playing any games. Do you know the number of people who have died in Iraq because George Bush and the Vatican made up a story about biological weapons? How about the war in Afghanistan? How about the number of people who died in the First and Second World Wars? Is that still a game? How about the people who died at the World Trade Center? Is that still a game? How about the complicit nature of putting transgenders on your TV and trying to corrupt you morally? All right? Is that a game? And this fool can come up here, whose name is Shock Pinky, and say that I'm taking this way too seriously. He thinks this is a game. He's still laughing about it. So my last response to him was because people, I want you to understand this. Just because, people live in a bubble. Bubble means you have a great job, you drive a nice car, you have money to pay your bills, so you think that everything is okay. All right? It's more like someone living in a house, an apartment, and your neighbor's house is on fire, and you think it's not your problem because it is house. What do you ever think that possibly the fire could drift into your own house as well? So if you find your neighbor on fire, you should try to help him to put out the fire, because you never know. The very next victim could be you. So I responded back to this fool and told him, because you have a cushy job, drive a stupid car, and live in a fake owned house and apartment doesn't make that everything is all right. Just because a fire is not in your apartment but is in your neighbor's doesn't mean yours won't burn down. You are a very deluded fool. Keep laughing. The next victim will be you. That's what happens to a lot of people. They just take this thing, and say, it's none of my business. I don't really care. But that's what the Vatican hopes. So you could be the next victim. Okay, so that's the delusional comment section, and let's move on. Now, so since we're looking at Jared Kushner, so I'm going to play a video, all right, for you to actually listen to the way Jared Kushner talks. And I want you guys to see if this is an effeminate man talking, or is this a female? Now, before I play the video, this is the point that I put out warnings, all right? First of all, you guys have to understand there are channel rules in effect in labeling someone a transgender if you're a new subscriber to this channel, all right? If you're old, you already know that. You just can't say someone is a transgender. You have to bring facts to the table, facts based on the female skeletal structure, which is designed to give birth. That means you must include links and pictures, all right, or videos. And if the video has to be a video that is not under speculation as well. So those videos have to show that the person in question that you say is a transgender has hips below the crotch, has an arch in the back, has a pelvis that's tilted forward, and a wide pubic arch to be considered legit on the channel. If your comments on labeling someone a transgender and you say someone is a transgender, you're automatically gonna get blocked. If your comments start by saying the person has long fingers, jaw lines, arms, has a strong chin, looks boyish, looks girlish, or you're walking off a hunch and all that, you are going to get blocked. We don't encourage slander in any form or shape. You have to provide the facts. That's the warning I have to put on this point. And as usual, as we've said before, you guys already know that the Vatican hasn't changed. They are the one responsible for all the organized mayhem that's happening in your world, because they want to shape you and condition you to believe and accept the new world order. That means the Pope wants to run you. That's just what it means. So I'm going to play the video of Jared Kushner right here, and we are going to just see if he sounds like an effeminate man or if he's actually a woman speaking. I want you guys to judge this for yourselves, and when we're done with that, then we'll come back and continue.
Let me be very clear. I did not collude with Russia. nor do I know of anyone else in the campaign who did so. I had no improper contacts. I have not relied on Russian funds for my businesses. And I have been fully transparent in providing all requested information. Donald Trump had a better message and ran a smarter campaign, and that is why he won. Suggesting otherwise ridicules those who voted for him. It is an honor to work with President Trump and his administration as we take on the challenges that he was elected to face. Creating jobs for American people, keeping America safe, and eliminating barriers to achieving the American dream.
So if you listen to that video, I want you guys to judge for yourselves and find out if Jared Kushner sounds like an effeminate man or is a woman. Now, if you guys want to actually listen to what he said again, you can pause the video and copy out this link right there and go paste it in your browser, and you can listen to it over and over and over again to actually tell if this is a dude or it's a female masquerading as a dude. So let's move on. So for the fellas who actually believe that Jews run the world, this is practically very, very disturbing, because if Jews are transgendering their own children, I mean, the whole Jewish thing doesn't look so right anymore. Don't you guys think so? But well, here it is. So let me just prove it that Jared Kushner is a bona fide Jew. It says here in Jared Kushner's Wikipedia page that Kushner was raised in a modern Orthodox Jewish family. All right, case closed. And he's he comes from a family of very, very rich Jews. So the Jewish theory doesn't look so right now. All right. Okay, so let's move on. So we start off with this picture of Jared Kushner, and as you can see right here, someone is trying to place his hand around Jared Kushner, and he finds Jared Kushner's waist. As you know, a female's waist is always gonna be above her belly button. A man's waist is below his belly button. And as you can see right here, that arm placement around is trying to find the narrowest point in Jared Kushner's body, which happens to be his waist, and it's above the belly button, which should be right here. So that means that this is a funny looking female and not a dude. Another picture. Here is another picture of Jared Kushner. As you can see, the narrowest point on Jared Kushner's body is right where his elbow's at, because that's where a female starts to spread downwards, and the widest point is always going to be below the hips. As you can see, this is Jared Kushner right here, and as you can see, that curve starts spreading all the way down, and the widest point is right round here, which is below his crotch. As you can see, the Q angle is the Q angle of a female. Very, very acute, showing you that Jared, a lover boy here, is actually a female, a funny looking female, and is the senior president or senior advisor to the President of the United States, which means this whole presidency is a joke, because it's the Vatican that runs this game. All right, so let's move on. So in order for you to understand this particular videos from now on, because I'm going to be sharing some news that's in the media, you would have to watch the Lisa Loeb's video, in which I try to explain that there's a Vatican code of numbers that goes on, that shows up on TV when you're watching TV or listening to the news, when the Vatican is selling you a lie or they don't have answers. So for example, they tell you that the Earth is the third planet in the solar system, the number 3, all right, right there. So that goes to show you that when they don't have answers and when they are lying to you, they put this code in. This code is for them to communicate amongst themselves. It can send a message out to another person over maybe watching the TV to know what they're actually saying and then get the message and all that kind of talk, all right? It's just talking in numbers. So this particular news happened to be on Yahoo, and I saw it. You can pause the video at any point in time and copy out that link so you can go look it up yourself. The news actually says right here that a group of 62 Catholics has accused the Pope of spreading heresy. So the code of lying is right there. The code of deception, 6, 2 6s, because this actually doesn't mean 6 or 62, it means 2 6s. The code of deception at work. Now, if you guys want to play the video, you can play the video. There's a video right there, but I just wanted to bring that to your notice so you can actually see how this guy spread lies. So let's continue. So there's something I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I think I've talked about this before, the protocols of Zion. And the reason why I have to bring the protocols of Zion up, which is actually a Vatican script, and it's not a Jewish script in any way, is because there's a lot of let's say stuff on the internet that you can find about an MK Ultra meaning mind control. All right, because when a lot of people, you know, when you get into understanding, or when you start starting to see that and doing your research, and you find out that all these people that you're on TV, in the media, the celebrities are all telling lies, you start wondering, how can this be possible? Because there are so many celebrities. So I want to show you how the Vatican learned from the Bible mind control. All right, it's very, very simple. I'm going to show you from the Bible, but before I show you from the Bible, I want to show you, take you to protocol number 2 in the protocols of Zion for you to see how these guys in the Vatican plan this stuff. I'm going to read this, then I'm going to explain with the Bible how they took the concept from what the Bible had to offer, because you have to understand that the Vatican works for the devil, and the devil is only a copycat of God. Because you have to understand that the way this world works, okay, the Vatican has set up the system in such a way that it sucks everybody else into it. Okay, they go by setting up the world in such a way that, you know, it sucks you in, because when you look around you, everything around you is controlled by the Vatican, down to the underwear you wear. Doesn't matter if it's Victoria's Secret, it doesn't matter if it's Calvin Klein, it's all the Vatican. So let me read this stuff and show you how this is possible. So because a lot of people always think about that it can be possible that the Vatican controls all celebrities. Yes, it does. I'm going to show you how they do it. So let me read from protocol number 2. It says, the administrators whom we shall choose from among the public with strict regard to their capacities for servile obedience will not be persons trained in the arts of government, and will therefore easily become pawns in our game, in the hands of men of learning and genius who will be their advisors. Specialists bred and reared from early childhood to rule the affairs of the world. So what you take notice of, he says, specialists bred and reared from early childhood to rule the affairs of the world. So I'm going to take you to the Bible to show you how this guy made this possible, that what they're actually putting out to you and what they're using to control all celebrities and everybody who's in place of power. Especially, the only way they don't, let's say, the best way I can put it is this. If these people, if someone comes up on their own and makes it into the world, because they're going to not make it into the government, it could maybe happen by chance or whatever. What they try to do is blackmail the person into one of their secret cults or whatsoever, into a secret Freemasonic organization. That's what they do. But the people that you find mostly on TV who are influencing your world are specialist bred. So I'm going to show you how they picked up this concept from the Bible and provided it as protocol number 2 in the protocols of Zion, which happens to be a Vatican script. So let me show you that. So I'm reading now from the King James Bible or the Geneva Bible, and I'm reading from Proverbs number chapter 22. Proverbs chapter number 22. And you can read from verse 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So that's how they are making this possible. So all the celebrities that you see on TV don't just happen to be on TV by chance. It's not through hard work as they make you believe. It's not true that they came from humble beginnings and all of that. These people have been specially bred, just like I showed you in Protocols number 2 of the Articles of Zion, from childhood. That means they are reared from childhood to be in the position that they are. So someone might say that's not possible, but it's very, very possible. So if you've ever watched this movie, I'm trying to recall the movie. It's called it's made by this guy called, I think, Shyamalan, or is it Mac Shyamalan or something? The guy who directed and wrote the movie called The Sixth Sense, which starred, I think, Bruce Willis and one kid. He had another movie, I think, called The Village. All right. Now in The Village, these people were put in a particular place and made to believe that there is a monster outside in the woods, that they cannot go beyond the woods. And these people lived in some sort of old day setting. All right, they never knew that the year that they were living was like maybe let's say today's date. They were living in an old setting that made them believe that they had no like electricity, water, running water, and all that kind of stuff. They were made to believe that they were living in like the in the 1400s or 1200s or whatever the case might be, but not in the modern era. So this is how this is possible, because you can take a child, and if all the child knows is what you tell him. So for example, let's say you have children, and you don't let your children talk to certain people, and you only instigate what you think is right into your child. And let's say, for example, that child that you have only goes to the same places, into the places in which what you're teaching the child at home is what he's being taught outside. So the child is only going to have a worldview that you have indoctrinated into him or her. All right? So that is how the celebrities are trained, or the people that you see on TV who are running your world. They're trained with a narrow worldview. They keep the kind of company they keep are only people who are concerned about the worldview that they've been taught, that they believe in. So that is how these people have this worldview. Because it doesn't make any sense for all the celebrities to come up, and still none of them can tell you the truth about what's going on. Is because they've all been trained to have a certain worldview. The friends they keep, the company they keep, the schools they go to, the people they meet, all have the same worldview. And that's how they are able to keep this lie going on, such that it looks like it's deja vu and you seem to not believe it. So that's just what I wanted to show you guys, so you can know about how the MK mind control thing actually works. It's worked by training a child right from childhood, right from the day he or she is born, to have a certain view of the world, a narrow view that you have indoctrinated, and to make sure that that child stays in that view based on where you send it to go, based on the people he or she meets throughout his or her lifetime. That's how mind control works. Okay, so let's move on. So I just wanted to let people know about this because I just thought it was something that you guys have to know. It's about the lottery. Now, a lot of people play and buy the lottery, and they think that what they see on TV and the advertisements that they have, that people actually win the lottery. All right. Now, guys, here's what I have to tell you about the lottery. The lottery is a Vatican deception. It's a Vatican deception for you to believe in a system that this system that the Vatican has designed can make you rich. Am I saying that you can be rich? No, I'm not saying that. It's designed to make you believe that the system can make you rich. Nobody can make you rich except God Almighty. All right? Because you have to understand that the world we live in, God owns it, but the devil runs it. The best way I can explain is this, all right? Let's say you have a father, all right, or a dad who's very, very rich and wealthy, okay? And he owns the whole entire, let's say, country of, what's the right country I would say? Let's say the country of Barbados, all right? Let's say your father owns that island, all right? The whole land is his. And your father has a driver, all right? And your father tells you to go, he gives the driver certain instructions on what to do and tells you to go with the driver somewhere. And your father tells you that he's going to go, he's going to travel outside of the country. He's not going to be in Barbados, all right? He's going someplace else. So, the driver has been given instructions to cater to you. So your father takes off and you want to go out with the driver. So you jump in the car with the driver. Now remind you, in this analogy, the driver is the devil, okay? And God and your father is God Almighty, and you are the child. So you get in the car with the driver, and the driver tells you, you know, your daddy gave me certain instructions, but I don't think these instructions are correct. All right, let's do something else. Now, he tells you that, and he says, he gives you the option and choice and saying, but you know, you don't have to do it. But from the way I see it, I think we should do this and that. And you tell the driver, okay, let's do what you say. You work into agreement with him. All right. So that's the way this world is designed. God owns it. He gave the driver special instructions to do something for you, but now you have allowed the driver to take control and be the one giving you instructions, moving you away. So that's the best example I can give you. Now, why did I have to give you that example? Because, like I said, I'm not saying that you can be rich in this world, all right? God is the one who decides who can be rich and who's not. But the devil runs it, and the devil can also make you rich. But which one do you want? All right? So the lottery is designed to make you believe in a system that the Vatican has set up, that they can make you rich. I want you to make you understand this. Nobody wins the lottery. Anybody you see on TV who has told you that they've won the lottery are all actors. None of them are real. None of them are real. Because you have to understand, why would the Vatican make you rich when the plan and design is to keep you poor so they can control you? So you have to understand the system. Why does the rent keep increasing every year when the property is supposed to be depreciating? Because anything that's it's property or anything machinery or whatsoever always has depreciation every year. It's not going to be the same. Something is failing in the property, or something is getting older. It's depreciating. So why would the rent increase every year? Because the system is designed to keep you poor so you can be controlled. So nobody wins the lottery. So don't spend a dime playing the lottery, because you have fools like Mark Cuban, who's a Vatican Jesuit agent, trying to make you believe that the lottery is actually real. And this particular article is on Business Insider. This Business Insider is supposed to make you believe that the lottery is actually real. Now let me tell you another story if you don't quite believe that's what I'm saying. I took out $12,000 cash of my money, all right? Because I just wanted to prove a fact that the lottery is actually fake. And I played a state lottery. So I am a programmer. I do some programming. So what I did was I went to the lottery website. I downloaded the file, all right, on the past lottery numbers that has been winning numbers for the lottery for 8 years. Okay, I put it up in my computer. I ran a little program, and I picked out all the possible winning numbers, all right, that could make a winning criteria or a winning number for that particular day. Remember, I said day. I played $12,000 in one day. So what I did was I went to a liquor store. I sat down at a liquor store 1 hour before the lottery closes, and I started printing out tickets, $12,000 worth of lottery tickets. When I was done with that, I went home because I just wanted to put this example and actually know that the lottery is not what it is. It is fake. Nobody can win it. So the most I got out of those numbers after sitting for 1 hour before the lottery number before they announced the lottery numbers for the day was I only got 4 numbers right out of $12,000 worth of ticket. 4 numbers right a couple of times. It was never up to 5 numbers. So I did another thing. Another day, I went on. I think there's what they call the Daily Four. I think there is a lottery game that's called the Daily Four. And I played the Daily Four, which is the Daily Four is that kind of a game that you have to win something, all right? Because you can only pick like 5 numbers, all right, or 6 numbers or so, and then but the numbers have to appear in a certain order. Now I didn't play a lot of that. I didn't play like $12,000 that I did on the other lottery ticket. I played close to maybe $1,000 or $2,000, and I kid you not, I still the order of the numbers still didn't come out right. I got all the numbers, but the order still wasn't right. And what I won from playing maybe $2,000 was like $300 or less. So that's just going to show. I'm just trying to show you that nobody wins the lottery. Do not spend a dime on it, because it's made to give you a fallacy. Anybody if you've seen any lottery winner on TV and you think you know one, I can guarantee you that the person is not who you think it is. That's just what I wanted to share with you. So don't believe anything of Mark Cuban. When Mark Cuban comes out and say he has advice for people who's going to win the lottery. This guy right here is a Vatican deception. He has that show, I think it's called the Shark Tank or whatsoever. He's a Vatican deception. Do not fall for it. I just had to put that news out there so you guys know that. So let's keep on moving on. So in the news today, the guy known as Hugh Heffner died, and he died at the age of 91. Is it a coincidence that the age is 91? You guys have to watch the Lisa Lopes video to understand what I'm saying, that I'm talking about the Vatican code of numbers right there. So I'm going to play, this was a news article on Hugh Hefner. Now Hugh Hefner made the world, turned women into sex objects by being the founder of Playboy. He's a Vatican trained Jesuit agent. And he brought women. I mean, he made women into sex objects, and he brought a lot of wrongdoing into the scene. But in today's media, the media portrays him as a hero. But this guy is not what he ought to be, because he demeaned women, and the way he treated women was not the right way, and he brought this kind of lifestyle into the public, making people to look at women as objects. Now, am I saying that Hugh Hefner, or that am I saying that to say that Hugh Hefner is so bad, and that I'm better, I'm preaching against him? Of course not, because I'm not gonna even lie to you guys. I have looked at Playboy magazine, but I didn't know what it was back then. I just thought the world was the way they told us. I never knew that there was a reason behind Playboy. There was something much more evil than looking at pictures of nude women in a magazine. So this is how these guys have sucked into, mind conditioning, right? And brainwashing people into accepting a new world order, because this here the new world order works. The New World Order wants you to have anything but the truth. So it's more like saying, do anything you want, all right? But do what we tell you and not the truth. So this particular video I'm going to play says Playboy founder Hugh Hefner dies at 91. And as you can see, the Vatican code of number is right here in the length of the video. It's 2 minutes and 16 seconds. It's not a coincidence, because I have another video that I'm gonna play for you, which it talks about. It was in the news sometime in, I think, 2015. It talks about a guy or family called Nikko Jenkins, and as you can see here, the duration of this particular article on news was 3 minutes and 6 seconds, which is almost the same thing right here as 2 minutes and 16 seconds, because all you need to do is add the 2 to the 1, and that's 306, and it will be the same thing as this. So I want to play the one of Playboy first, then I'll come back and play the one on the judge, so you can guys can actually see how the Vatican code of numbers is being played and used to mind influence you every day. And then we'll continue with the transvestigation of Jared Kushner. So let's go.
Boy.
I had pretty wild dreams, but I didn't have any dreams as wild as what actually happened.
But Hugh Heffner's success started out as a long shot. The son of 2 Chicago school teachers, Heffner was a World War II vet. He took a job at Esquire. Then, with just $600 and another $1,000 borrowed from his mom.
Now, I paused that because I want you not to be in a hurry when watching this video. I want you to listen to all the Vatican codes of numbers that are going to be said. First of all, you had $600. That's not a coincidence. So that's why I had to pause the video. I'm going to continue, all right?
The man who came to be known as Heff started his own magazine, buying pictures of a captivating young blonde for his first centerfold. Her name, Marilyn Monroe.
Playboy was there.
So he says Marilyn Monroe, and we've featured Marilyn Monroe in this particular channel as well. And the one thing I just want to throw out here before I go any further is that I found out that there's a lot of brainwashing going on, and that the brainwashing on, let's say, prejudice or racism, as the case may be, it's even prevalent in transgenders. Because I found out when we do videos on transgenders that are white, the videos don't get a lot of hits as we would do on black people. So, for example, we have if we put out a video about Beyonce or Serena Williams, we have a lot of over maybe 10,000 hits on the video. But if we put a video out on like people like Matt Damon, Marilyn Monroe, David Beckham, John Travolta, and somebody like what's his name again? Besides John Travolta, someone, who's this white dude again? We had a one on what? I'm trying to recall all the names. I'm having a hard time. So just give me a second. Let me recall all the names. So we had one on Leonardo DiCaprio. We had one on Tom Brady. We had one on what's this guy who dated Katy Perry again? We just had a video out of him about a week ago. Russell what? What is his name? Russell, what is his name? Russell Brand. So all the names I've mentioned right there, okay, which are all white folk, get the least amount of hits. Why is that the case? Because we've been brainwashed as a people, doesn't matter if you're white or black, into believing that white is good and black is evil. So once we say it's a black fellow or black celebrity on here, he has the most or she has the most number of hits, because we've been brainwashed and we've been whitewashed. But nevertheless, let's continue on with Hugh Hefner here, just for you guys to see the code of numbers, because I said that so you can understand that Hugh Hefner, if he featured Marilyn Monroe, he knew for a fact that Marilyn Monroe was a man. But they put him on the magazine, on the Playboy magazine, and force-fed that idea that this is a woman to a lot of growing young children, all right, and a lot of people around the world, trying to influence you, trying to deceive you into accepting men as women and women as men, to confuse the sexes, spreading confusion. So let's move on and let's continue this video on Hugh Hefner, who died at the age of 91 in the Vatican code of numbers. So let's go. So I paused the video because I was trying to make you guys take note of the fact that they say that he married whosoever this lady was at 24 years old. The Vatican code of number is still at work. 2 plus 4 is 6, multiples of 3. And that he was 84 when he married the 24-year-old. 4 plus 8 is 12. Multiples of 3. So I want you guys to pay attention when you're listening to what you're watching on TV to spot these codes, so you can understand when the Vatican is telling you lies or premeditated fake biographies and fake people used to control your reality and your world. That's what I wanted to pause for you guys to take notice of. But I'll keep on playing this and just finish it.
I have no major regrets. You know, we only get one time around in this old world, and I feel that I'm one of the very fortunate few.
A fierce defender of First Amendment rights, he was also a generous supporter of many charities, twice kicking in to save the Hollywood sign. Knowing it was here, his own dreams came true. Hugh Heffner, a household name, both for his magazine and for living life by his own rules, having fun and creating controversy every step of the way. Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News, Hollywood.
So that was Hugh Hefner. So I'm going to move on to the next article that I found, still on the Vatican Code of Numbers, so you guys could listen, and so that when you're watching the news or reading articles online, you should be able to spot when the Vatican is telling you a lie or made up story of people who they've put in front of you to shape and control your reality. All right, because these people are not real people. That means when I'm saying real people, their lives are not organic. They're not happening naturally. Then everything has been pre-planned because these guys don't worship God. All right, so they put in this code and try to make these people feel like they have a normal life, like it's normal to the rest of us. So you guys can be sucked into believing that this is normal. Hugh Hefner was sent to infiltrate the minds of people, make them to start accepting, because once you start accepting this kind of ridiculous lifestyle that this man has, your morals are lowered. You're going to be accepting everything else. So this was a prelude to accepting transgenders and homosexuality. All right, this was a prelude. Immorality at its highest, treating women like sex objects, infiltrating and corrupting the mind of young children to lay down and accept what was coming next. And he succeeded wonderfully. Died at the age of 91, which I don't think was his actual age. It could be fabricated. It could be that he died a long time ago, but they just waited to announce it now, just to make it look like he fitted into their plan, to make you believe this, all right? For the guys who believe in stuff that's not of God, who believe in the occult and occultic signs and symbols. That's just what this is about. So let's move on. So the next video was a news. I already showed you guys I was going to play it. And I want you guys to take notice of, just like the Hugh Hefner video, that the video duration is 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Now, this whole news story is littered with the Vatican Code of Numbers over here. As you can see right here, it's going to start at 6:05. It's going to play for 3 minutes. When you notice the time, and notice the temperature for the day, or the weather temperature, or the temperature of the weather for the day, it's 81 degrees. That's 9. All right, and it will be played, and it says tonight's low is going to be 63 and tomorrow's high is going to be 81. And this particular channel was, I think, KMTV channel number 3. So I'm going to play that. I'm not going to talk too much, but I want you guys to listen to everything, so you can start seeing how the Vatican makes up the news to control you. Because this particular news was about about perpetuating fear into the masses. So you can actually believe that you have this kind of people walking around, and so whatever the Vatican tells you to do in your community or whatever, so that you wouldn't have this kind of people walking around and making you feel afraid, then you would do it, sucking you more into the New World Order and their laws. All right, so I'm gonna play this video, and I'm not just gonna say anything. I'm just gonna let the video run. When it's done, we'll come back and continue the investigation of Jared Kushner, or rather complete it. Okay, so let's go.
County judge wants to know how convicted killer Nikko Jenkins is still able to mutilate his face while behind bars. Jenkins has gotten a hold of razor blades more than once, and authorities are not sure where he's getting them. Jenkins killed Juan Pena, Jorge Ruiz, Curtis Bradford, and Andrea Kruger in a 10-day killing spree during the summer of 2013. KMTV Action 3 News reporter Jake Wozakowski is live at the Douglas County Courthouse with more. Jake.
Emily, Jenkins is seemingly in the same confinement situation he was before he was released the first time back in 2013. He's isolated by himself 23 hours a day. Now, I've got exclusive photos of what Jenkins looks like right now, and I must warn you, it may be graphic to some viewers. This is Nikko Jenkins when he was first booked for murder in September 2013. These exclusive photos show what he looks like now. More than once, Jenkins has gotten a razor blade that the prison says didn't come from his shaving equipment and mutilated himself. Jenkins says he has 9 lacerations to his face, tried to carve Satan into his forehead, and split his tongue. Today, Douglas County District Court Judge Peter Battalion asked the acting warden at the state pen, Robert Madsen, how he's getting the razors. The warden said he doesn't know how, and he couldn't guarantee it won't happen again.
That's always been a concern as to how do you handle somebody like him, and he keeps doing things to himself, and that's the problem. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's as the judge said to him at the end of the hearing, don't cut yourself anymore.
Madsen explained Jenkins is in a 23-hour confinement cell, doesn't interact with other inmates, a staff member checks on him every 15 minutes, and now has a camera in his cell. The judge questioned whether he was getting them in his food, which other inmates deliver. Quote, someone that works in the cafeteria could put a razor blade in the mashed potatoes and the staff may not see it. The warden didn't know if Jenkins was taking any meds. His attorney has long asked for him to get mental health treatment for bipolar and schizoaffective disorder.
Our position is that he should be in the regional center. That's where that's where he should be. That's not going to happen, obviously.
Jenkins says he cuts himself to expose the hatred of the Nebraska Department of Corrections and wants to be moved to the Lancaster County Jail. Klein says he doesn't get that choice no matter what he does.
He's been attempting by whatever means to manipulate the system from the very beginning of this case, and that's just his nature.
The DOC says that they're not allowing him to shave anymore and that they actually caught one inmate trying to sneak a book under his door that had a razor in it. Jenkins is awaiting his death penalty sentencing phase that is supposed to be coming up in the fall. But in the end of this hearing, the judge basically said that if I was you, Father, the first thing I would tell you is to quit cutting yourself. Reporting live outside the Douglas County Courthouse in downtown Omaha, Jake Wozakowski, KMTV Action 3 News.
A Douglas County judge wants a Douglas County
So that is how I just wanted you to take notice of the Vatican code of numbers. You will hear that when they were talking about the news, they would say that he was in a lockdown for 23 hours. The crimes he committed happened in 2013. And, all the Vatican code of numbers just displaying on the news channel, Action News number 3, time that the news started was 6:05. I mean, it's just ridiculous, So I want you guys to start taking notice of this so that the Vatican doesn't use this, because when they're making up stories to tell you lies, to control your reality, they make up all these numbers and they use them against you. So that is it for the Vatican code of numbers, and let's continue with the Jared Kushner trial investigation so we can wrap this up real quick. I still want to thank Lola, Mr. Lee, for bringing this article up because she sent me a link showing me that there was some time in the news. It was not really like news made. They didn't make it mainstream news, but they just made it news all the same. But they didn't like make a big hell of it, reported on CNN every now and then or any of the news networks. It was said that Jared Kushner was voting in New York as a woman. So you can pause the video at any point in time and copy out this link and go look it up yourself. All right, it says here in this particular headline says Jared Kushner has been voting as a woman for 8 years because Jared Kushner is a woman. portrayed to us or masquerading as a man. So when you go down to this news article, it says here Jared Kushner, senior advisor and son-in-law to President Donald Trump, has been registered to vote as a woman for 8 years. Records from the New York State Board of Elections list Mr. Kushner's gender as female, according to screenshots obtained by Wired. The records indicate he registered to vote in November 2009. It is unclear whether the listing was intentional or a mistake. Mr. Kushner last voted on 8 November 2016, the day of his father-in-law's election. He has yet to comment on the situation. Now, this news article, because we know like everything mainstream media, anything on the media that you see on TV, internet, doesn't matter what shape or form that comes in, it's owned by the Vatican. Now, this was reported by Independent News. Now, I'm going to show you how the Vatican plays on the Hegelian dialectics. Now, this one is actually telling you the true story that Jared Kushner, right, is a woman, was clearly voting as a woman. Now, when it goes over to CNN, your most trusted news source, all right, which says they tell you the truth, CNN is going to do what they call damage control. So most times when you hear news on your TV, all right, that's why I say that nothing on TV is real. By the time it gets to TV, even if it was a real event, it's going to be twisted, shaped, and modified to control your mind so that you people don't start looking at the truth. Now, if you want to read this particular article on CNN, you can pause the video at any point in time and go copy out the link. Now, see how CNN is going to report the news that this, because CNN is Vatican owned, just like this news website, The Independent. See how CNN is going to twist it to their own recording. So, because what they actually do here is play good cop and bad cop. The good cop is going to make you believe, because the reason why these guys reported this way is so that you have trust in them, all right? Trust that they're telling you the truth. So you can always believe that the Independent tells you the truth when in fact it's a lie, all right? So CNN here is going to twist it and do the damage control properly. It says, Elections Board, error, Kushner listed as a female. So the Elections Board of the United States of America tells you that Kushner is listed, that they made an error. So if the election board can tell you that they made an error, how many more errors have they been making that you do not know about? I just want you to ask yourself that question, because like I've said before, the presidency, the whole electoral college, the whole system of politics in the United States and around the world in general, just not the United States, is a facade. Is a facade for you to believe in a system that you never ever had a hand in creating, because they are all seamlessly controlled by the Vatican. Right here you see that CNN is doing damage control of telling you that Kushner wasn't really female, and the election board says it was an error. Now let's read the story on how they make this true and made you believe that it was actually true. It says, Washington CNN, the New York State Boards of Elections acknowledged in a news report published Thursday that President Donald Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner registered to vote as a male despite being listed as a woman previously. Board of Elections Executive Director. See the Vatican stooges right here? Michael Ryan. Go look him up. He is a Vatican stooge. Confirmed to the New York Daily News that the board made the error, not Kushner. See how they deliberately lied to you, because Kushner is actually female, masquerading as a man. Kushner's publicly accessible 2009 New York voter information obtained through LexisNexis listed his gender as female. The Daily News said the Board of Elections updated Kushner's gender from female to male in the system. Avid the same day, media reports highlighted the information. Wired first reported the State Board of Elections showed Jared Kushner registered to vote as female, citing information obtained by the research tool LexisNexis. The White House declined to comment on the story. Kushner, who was married to Trump's eldest daughter Ivanka Trump, has been under fire lately for occasionally using a private email account for correspondence with fellow administration officials. His lawyer Abby Lowell confirmed to CNN on Sunday. Now, if you guys want to read the story, you can. I think I'm going to leave a description. I'm going to leave a link in the description section for you guys to go look it up to actually see how the whole system is designed to lie to you, because the Vatican doesn't want you to know the truth. They're not just lying on just one thing. The whole system is a bunch of lies. They lied on everything. There is nothing truthful that you've known. Nothing. The Vatican has told you no truth. If it's a truth, it's mixed it up with a lie so that you should believe the lies. Right from the day you were born up till today, they've mind control you through the school system which they own, the media which they own, the TV that you own, the information that you grasp, all of it, all lies. So that's why I'm saying that you can never ever trust anything or anybody you see on TV. Do not give them or do not hold them in any high regard. So let's finish up with the Jared Kushner story, so we can a transvestigation rather, so we can end this video. So we stopped here, and this was our last picture, and the next picture right here, as you can see, this is Ivanka Trump still trying to find the narrowest point in Jared Kushner's body, and that's where she finds it, because his navel is gonna be right around here, and as you know, a female's waist is always gonna be above her navel, and Ivanka Trump tries to find that spot, puts it around where his waist is at, and as you can see, there's an arch in the back, because that's Jared Kushner's waist, and that tends to show you that Jared Kushner is actually female. And see how he's spreading downwards? Those are all hips, and look at that, all hips, and the widest point before the hip starts to taper is right around here, which is below his crotch. I don't know what's going on there, if it's real or not, but it's not real, because we know the skeletal structure tells us that Jared Kushner, the senior advisor to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, married to Donald Trump's daughter, is actually a woman masquerading as a man. Next picture. As you can see, there's Jared Kushner again. As you can see, he's spreading downwards. Someone's not going to tell me that what you're looking at are the shorts. These are hips. He has the same hips as Ivanka Trump. Now, people, if you're new subscriber or you're old, remember, there is no slandering. You have to provide facts. Otherwise, based on the female skeletal structure, otherwise your comments are going to be blocked. I state that again. We have no time for slandering. But as you can see right here, he is spreading downwards, and the widest point just before he starts tapering is below the crotch. Why? Because Jared Kushner is a funny looking female telling you it's a dude. Another picture. Jared Kushner. Now, I couldn't find a lot of pictures of Jared Kushner from the back like I ought to find it, but I can still see that there is a C-shaped arch in this back. There is no denying. Look at that. Arch in the back, C-shaped arch. The picture might be small or blurry, but I can see the arch is in the back, because this is a funny looking female and not a dude. Arch in the back. Jared Kushner is a woman. Another picture. Look at that. Jared Kushner is spreading downwards, and there is an arch in the back. His shoulders are tucked inside the body. Can you see that? These shoulders are not sticking out. See how they follow the contours of the body right here, sticking to the body? Because this is a funny looking female with hair on her chest, pretending to us that he is a man and that he's the senior. Goodness gracious, people. If this kind of fellow is the senior advisor to Donald Trump, and he cannot even tell you that he's a woman, because the records show, number one, that he registered in the state of New York and has been voting as a female. That's number one. Number two, we are showing you facts that he's actually female, and he's the senior advisor to the president. What do you think the presidency about? Is it about truth? Is it about your best interest at heart? I don't think so, because this is a funny looking female telling you lies. Another picture. All right. And here is Jared Kushner, and you can see that he has an hourglass figure. He is spreading like a female. Spreading, hourglass figure, trying to hide it with the towel. But we can see those great hips of a female. Look at that. Look at those lines right there. Those are all hips. Look at all that. Look at all this. All hips. Why? Because this is a female masquerading as a man. And the shoulders are inside those hips. Look at the widest point on those hips sticking out there. The shoulders are inside. And the shoulders are not sticking outside of the body. They are following the contours of the body, as you can see here, because where you actually have his latissimus muscles are under it. It's not outside the shoulders. It's under it. Because this is a woman. Jared Kushner is a woman. Let's go. Another picture. And look at the gait in the way he walks. He has the same hips as Ivanka Trump. Below the crotch. Below the crotch. Below the crotch. Because this is a funny looking female. Look at that. Look at the curves that he has. Look at that. The arms are following the body. See that? Because a woman's arms will always follow the curves of the body. All right? See that? The arms are following the curves of the body because this is a female. And look at how acute that Q angle is. Look at the widest point in the hips. Below the crotch. Below the crotch. Just like Ivanka Trump. Because these are two females. Ivanka Trump can tell you a truth. She didn't tell you that this funny looking dude is actually a woman. Can you trust anything that you buy from Ivanka Trump or anything that she says? No, because these are all liars and deceivers used to control your reality, shape the perception that you have of your world. Jared Kushner is a woman. The hips will never lie. Let's go on further. Now, I couldn't find, because when you're trying to look at an arch in someone's back, you have to take notice of the fact that the person has to be in, let's say, a relaxed position. That means the legs are not moving, the feet are not moving awkwardly, they are not slanting, they are not in awkward shape, they are not hiking the knee, so you can get a good view. I couldn't find a good view of this guy's back in, or this, I'll call it a female because it's a female. I couldn't find a good view of this female's back in a relaxed position in which the legs are not doing anything funny on the body. But you can still see right here, even from the way that he's bending, that there is an arch in the back. It's very, very subtle because of the way his feet position is, not allowing the body to be at rest to actually show you that arch. But you can still see that it's arching from right there. You can see that arch in the back because this is a funny looking female masquerading as a dude. Jared Kushner is a woman. That was the other picture I was still trying to show you, but you can still see the huge hips on this funny looking dude. He doesn't just have huge hips by coincidence. It's because he has the skeletal structure of a female and is a female, transgendered male. Jared Kushner is a woman. All right, let's go. Another picture. And you can still see here, right there, he's trying to run. His body is not in, like I said, a relaxed position for you to see that. But you can still see through the clothes. There is an arch in the back. Arch in the back right there. He's trying to hide it. But he can't because the skeletal structure never lies. Jared Kushner is a funny looking female. He's not a dude. Let's move on. Another picture right there. As you can see, he's still spreading arch in the back. He's still spreading, but the clothes are trying to cover it up. But you can see the way it's moving and the way it's hung around him, that it is an arch in the back because this is a funny looking female masquerading as a man. All right. Another picture. And look at the hourglass figure on this dude. Damn. He seems to have more of an hourglass figure than his so-called wife in Ivanka Trump. Why? Because this is a funny looking female. The arms are still filling the contours of the body. He starts spreading, and the widest point, as you can see, as the hips, as that spreading starts to taper, is below the crotch. Because this is a funny looking female, not a dude. Been lying to you. That's a woman. All right. I already showed you guys this picture, and I didn't have a lot of pictures of Jared Kushner because I think she's well protected. Let's use the right word. She's well protected, being the so-called fake senior advisor to the Donald Trump presidency, the president of the United States. It's all a fraud. Those guys don't tell you any truth. It's all drama I put in there. All drama, masquerading people, lies, all controlled by the Vatican. That's just what I wanted to let you guys know. So, sorry it was a long video, but I had to give you all the information I thought necessary that you should have. And if you learned something, that's great. Advise that you stay tuned and subscribe. Also, if you learned something, subscribe. Stay tuned. And I'll leave you with these words. Subscribe only if you're interested in the truth. Alright? Because like I said, this is not a transgender channel. We do not care about the numbers of subscribers we have. We care about the quality. Alright? So that if you're looking for truth and you're searching for truth, you're not searching for slander or entertainment. You want to get educated. You want to learn something. You want to know something. We're not saying we know everything. We're just sharing the information that we have with you guys. Then stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. And I'll leave you with these words. And I mean it every time I say it. It should mean something to you always. Look with your eyes and see with your brain. Thanks and bye-bye.